rescue dogs. So that was kind of a nice little uplifting video to see yesterday. So let's go ahead and be seated in our chair. And today what I'm going to do is we're going to do a traditional yoga asanas, and I'm going to try to use some of the Sanskrit terms, and we're going to do it seated, and we'll then repeat it for those that would like to in the standing mode. And we'll just do some of them like that. But in that second set, please feel free to remain in your seat, okay? But I just want you to start to see, and if those of you that want can feel what that's like to take it into the other way of doing it, all right? And what I love about yoga is it is for everyone, and this chair really makes it accessible to everyone as well. So, as you know, this is our, generally where we begin our yoga is in mountain pose, okay, when we're sitting in the chair. And this is called our seated mountain pose, okay, or Tadasana. Tada, I always think about tada, here I am, I'm ready to go. Tadasana is the Sanskrit term for that. And in that, we are meeting the earth with our feet. All right, even if I'm standing, I'm meeting the earth with my feet. I'm opening up, taking my toes, laying them down onto the ground, placing weight evenly in the contours, front and the back of my feet. And then I'm just looking at alignment as well. So seated in the chair, we're making this kind of Z pattern, right, with our bodies. When we're standing, we're making more of an upright I position, a small I. And this is the dot on the head of that I. And so let's just go ahead and let the shoulders relax away from our ears. Our hands can be placed on our thighs, or you can let your hands rest and open up here as well, right? This makes it a little more, not so active as much, but we just start to open up the shoulders a little bit more when you let your hands come down. And you're also releasing that energy, and you're sharing that energy of your own body, emitting it from your hands, okay? So either in any way, some of us might just feel like this is where I want to be, or this is where I want to be. Please find that and close your eyes, and let's take a few breaths here in seated Tadasana pose. When we're doing our asanas, seated or standing, our breath is still that common element. That breath that is so much part of our physicality, but also so much of an effect on our emotionality and our mental state. And in terms of yoga, it's how we connect our minds and our bodies to find what lies in between, and that spirit that each and every one of us carry within and around these beautiful bodies, these amazing bodies that we walk upon the earth with. And then just flutter your eyes open. And again, Tadasana, seated mountain pose. And then we also have rising mountain pose, where we come up onto the balls of our feet. So I'm lifting my heels up. Feel that in your calf there, okay? And then I'm going to slowly come back down, exhale down, rising mountain pose, lifting up, heels up. When we stand, we'll be balancing on the balls of our feet. Come on down, inhale, lift. Exhale. Inhale, rise. Exhale. Inhale, rise again. Hold here, balancing on the balls of your feet. Squeeze into your glutes. Push down through the balls of the feet, up with the heels. Feel that all throughout your legs. And exhale. Slowly bringing heels back down to the ground. So I want you either to repeat this as we do it in standing, or you can stand with us. And we're going to be up and down today, those that choose to be, okay? Not going to get down onto the floor, so you don't need to be concerned about that. And again, stay seated if you like. I'm going to stand in front of the chair first, and I'm going to move this back, because I didn't realize my head would be cut off if I stood up. And so I think that will do it. And yes, so I'm going to stand in mountain now. And again, you can take it back into your seat if you like, but I want you to, again, experience what it is in one as the other. So seated Tadasana, standing Tadasana, finding again, lift our toes up, place them down, okay? Pressing down firmly into that earth space. As I do, I feel the connection here in my beautiful legs. And when I say my beautiful legs, you're supposed to say to yourself, my beautiful legs, meaning yours, okay? So into your own beautiful legs, pressing down into the earth, bringing that energy up into your beautiful body, okay? Hips, let it rise up, let it keep coming up into your heart space, letting your shoulders release downward, and letting your palms just be out again, feeling that energy being admitted from your hands outward. And we don't necessarily have to open up our fingers wide here in Tadasana. We can just let them be. Let the shoulders be down, checking into now, instead of that Z formation, I'm just in a straight line, okay? And then we're going to go into rising mountain. For rising mountain, some of you may want to get onto the back side of your chair. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and do that too, because I'm working on increasing my balance there. So rising mountain, I'm going to go ahead and lift up onto the balls of my feet. I'm holding on here, or you're seated in the chair doing exactly what we just did. Slowly coming down, rising mountain, lifting myself up. Feel that squeeze in the back of my calf and that gastrocnemius area. Rising up on my inhale and coming down slowly on my exhale. Take it slow, even if you're seated in the chair, okay? Really press down into the balls of your feet and then slowly lower down into your heels. Keep going. I'm just taking one hand up to remind me to inhale. As I come up, exhale. As I come down, and of course I'm talking, right? So talking takes breath. So I'm not always following that in and out, exhaling as I come down and inhaling as I come up, because I'm talking. That's why I like to take yoga classes and have the instructor do the talking so I can do my breathing. Let's do 2 more, okay? Inhaling, lifting. Exhaling. And now rising mountain, rise on up, and let's hold that. If you're seated in the chair, then just take it to the chair. Here you're going to feel all of your beautiful muscles coming in contact closer into your bone. You're going to feel that in the back of that calf. You're going to feel really strong here. You're going to pull into your glutes. And this is something I suggest you do lots of times in your day. You can rise up and down, or you can hold it. You can do this on a countertop. You can do it while you got your shopping cart, okay, and you're waiting in line. So Tadasana, mountain pose, and rising mountain pose. Okay, so we did it, seated, and we did this. And now we're going to take a seat again. And some of you may have stayed seated, and that's great. And we're going to go into Ardha Chandrasana, which is half moon pose. And we do this a lot of varieties when we're working in this, and you can always be creative with it, but we're gonna do it in the more traditional manner. And we'll do it again, seated a few times, and then I'll offer and invite you to stand if you'd like. So on half moon, we're opening up the sides of our body. So I start in mountain pose, whether I'm seated or standing. I'm gonna raise my arms up over my head. I'm going to cross my thumbs and cross all my fingers except for my index finger. And then I'm going to lift my arms up. And I'm going to squeeze so that I've got a squeeze with my biceps by my ears. Now, if yours don't go there, then just bend a little bit, okay? But try to find as much length in the side body as you can, pressing down into the earth with your feet. And let's take it on over into this beautiful half moon place. You know, a lot of our positions for yoga are delineated with the names of animals in nature because there's so much beauty in nature, right? And we're moving our bodies in those beautiful ways as well. So half moon, Ardha Chandrasana, inhale it up and lengthen. And exhale, let's take it on over to the other side. Okay, feeling that lengthening going on there, pressing down and inhale, lifting up. Really lengthen. And take your hands down. Notice which thumb is on top because we're going to switch that out this time, okay? So rise on up, inhale. Cross the opposite thumb on top. That means all the fingers cross in the opposite direction as well. Lengthen up. Press my feet down. Come on over. Ardha Chandrasana, half moon pose. Breathe. Coming up here. And exhale, let's take it over. Breathing as you lengthen. And find depth. And then take yourself on up, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, float your arms on down. And then another position that we'll do standing here is our position to get us ready for doing things like half moon. And that is called, excuse me, I take my sweater off, upward salute, right? So upward salute is just standing in mountain or seated in mountain and just raising your arms straight up, okay? That's upward salute. So just take your arms, lengthen the side body, and exhale them down. Let's do that 3 more times. Inhale to upward salute. Exhale. Let's take the hands down. Inhale, lift. Lengthen. Exhale down. Una vez más. Come on up. And exhale down. All right, we're going to do that standing for those that would like, or you can remain seated. So we're going to do half moon, and we're going to do our upward salutes, okay? Same thing, stay seated or standing. I just want to, again, show you these possibilities here. So I'm going to raise my arms up into upward salute, inhale. Finding crossing one thumb over the other, interlace my fingers and take myself over. Really pressing down into that outside foot, okay? Taking my upper shoulder back and my under shoulder forward so that they stack. Trying to keep my hips forward and in alignment. Inhale myself up. And exhale myself over to the other side. Checking in again. Push down with one foot into the ground. Lifting up here. And rising up, inhale. And take your hands forward. Take a look at what thumb is on top. We're going to switch. Rise on up. Switch that grip. Squeeze. And take yourself over. Make that beautiful half moon shape. We're moving into almost a full moon now. But we had that crescent moon last week or so. Let yourself come down. Bring yourself up on an inhale. Lengthen. Take yourself over and exhale. And again, if you're seated, that works just as well for this upper body as standing. Rising up, inhale. Exhale, letting my hands float down. Finding mountain. I'm going to rise into my upward salute. Inhale. Lengthen. Exhale. 3 more times. Inhale. And exhale. Those faces last. Rising up. And you can practice your rising mountain if you like. Coming down. And taking our hands down again. Exhale. Good. Let's come back into the chair if you left it. Again, we're just going to be kind of coming back and forth in there. Let me do something with my phone. It keeps making a noise over here. I thought I had it on silent, but I didn't. And so now we're going to do some other familiar poses for you in this seated manner. And then we will work into those standing, those of you that care to do that. All right, so let's go ahead and open up our legs. And when we do that, we know we already begin to open up in our hips, right? And so what we're gonna do, and this is not a traditional yoga posture, but these are some of the things that I fill in between just to get us to have some good movement and lubrication in our joints. So let's do this. A little hip motion here and coming around in the opposite way. Churning, so to speak, our upper body. As my knees and my ankles line up and my feet are out and my heels are in. One more round. There we go. And then placing yourself on your sits bones here, sitting up nice and straight and tall. We're going to move into goddess pose, all right? Another traditional posture that we've done many times. And we're going to do it seated, and then we'll do it standing, those that choose. Inhale, lift. Push down with your feet. Feel your knees pull outward. If you do, you're feeling this in your legs without even standing, okay? Exhale down. Elbows are at shoulder height. Fingers can open up with strength and length. Inhale, lift. I'm pressing down into my feet, and I'm feeling this strongly in my glutes, in my legs, so much that my legs are shaking. Inhale, lift. Lengthening. Exhale. Push down with your feet. Lift up high. Pull out with your knees. Exhale. Inhale, rise. Exhale, hands come slowly down. Woo. And you can repeat that, and you will get a lot out of it if you're pushing down into the earth plane. You can just stay seated. Or if you like, we can take it into standing, where we're going to have our legs out in this upside down V formation. Toes out, heels in. Rising up here. Exhale, taking myself down. If you're staying in the chair, continue pressing in with your feet to the ground and your knees out, okay? Inhale, lift. And I'm telling you, sitting in the chair like I just did and really activating in my legs. I was feeling it more than I am actually doing this. So let's just add 2 more here. I know we only did 4 last time. Push down with my feet, lengthen, and exhale. Standing back up. Let my arms come down if you stood up. And then find that chair and bring it in. And now we're going to do chair pose. And you think, well, I'm already sitting in a chair. How do I do chair pose? Well, chair pose, we will also do standing. And sorry, I keep taking layers off here. Started really cold and now I'm feeling that a little warmed up. So finding your feet attached to the ground, finding your good alignment, okay? And so in a chair pose, standing, we will begin in mountain pose. So in a chair pose seated, we will begin just like this. So you're probably gonna think there's not a whole lot difference. What I want you to do right now before we do anything else is squeeze all your muscle to bone in your legs and up into your glutes. Push down through your feet. Inhale, lift your arms up. Really lengthen, push down through your feet. Really lengthen, push down through your feet. Squeeze in with your glutes. Really lengthen. And exhale. Did you see how I kind of like, when I let go of my glutes, I shrunk a bit? Squeezing into the glutes, squeezing. See how I kind of pop up there? Okay, so that's what I want you to do when you're in chair, really squeeze into those glutes. All right, so chair pose traditionally is held with arms up. All right, but we're gonna do it in a few different ways. Raise your arms up, begin there, then go ahead, squeeze into your glutes, squeeze into your legs, press your feet down. Do 1 more here traditionally. Squeeze, 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 push, push, push. Squeeze and push, lengthen, exhale. Release those glutes. You guys know what it is to squeeze those glutes, right? Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. All right, this time, take your hands out to the side. We're gonna do chair, more like airplane with the arms out. I'm gonna push through my feet, begin there, push down, squeeze into my glutes and my legs. Keep my back straight, core is engaged. Open up through your fingers. Feel everything, upper body, lower body, totally engaged. And whew, relax and breathe. Don't know about you guys, but that gets me. All right, we're gonna do that another time. Rise up here. Let your hands come forward now. We're gonna do chair with fingers forward. Push into my feet, squeeze into my glutes, squeeze into my core. Fingers reach out, really working this chair pose here. Your fingers can open up if you want to take in more energy in your arms. Squeeze, lengthen, and whew. Exhale and breathe. 1 more chair. Take hands here. I want you to press isometrically. Fingers together, arms together, feet into the ground, squeeze into your glutes, and let's be in chair here now. Solidly focused on everything coming into the center, keeping that straight spine, engaging in your core. That's it. Push, squeeze, and whoo, let it go. So guess what? You can either stay in the chair and do that again, or you can try it with me standing, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and stand up, and you will remain in your chair if you like. And we're gonna go into standing chair pose here. So just as if I'm in the chair, stay in your mountain pose or come into my mountain pose as I'm standing up here, okay? My arms and everything tightens up now. Really pushing into the ground, lengthening, and then coming into bent knees. right? I should be able to look down and see my toes. I should be able to rest most of my weight back into my heels. Chair pose, okay? Opening up my fingers a little bit more. Maybe coming down a little bit more. But see what works for you. You can also use the back of the chair to kind of rest on as well. Come on up. If you came down, taking arms out to the side. Take yourself down. Pull your upper body back a little bit more. Maybe your arms come soaring back as well. You decide what feels good. Again, most of my weight when I'm standing in chair pose comes to my heels. If you're seated, you're still pressing in firmly into the ground. Lift on up. Inhale. Upward salute. Exhale. Coming into mountain to go into the next couple of ways that we will present ourselves in chair pose. Hands come forward, fingers open up. Then take, maybe you just bend a little bit. Okay, you don't have to bend a lot in your chair. When you feel more comfortable though, and you feel stronger maybe in your legs, you may bend a little bit more. You want to keep your knees from going like this or like that. So it's going to throw you off balance. You want to stay really solid, either on all of your foot or again, toes can even lift, taking weight back into your heels. Do this if you're seated as well. Rising up, arms lift. If you're standing, your legs lengthen, your arms come down, and you breathe. We have one more, and that's at heart center. Praying that this will be over soon. Press, hands together, fingers together, palms together, elbows out. Press in with your feet in the ground. If you're seated and your knees are bent in that chair, or bend and come down into the chair. You can come into a little bar stool if you just want to come here, right? Or you can come into more of the chair depth of what we were seated in. Breathing here. Finding your balance if you're standing and most of your weight's in your heel. And then rising up. Bring your arms up, inhale. And exhale. Let's take them on down. Being really slow here. Good. Back in the chair. So, and some of you staying in the chair, that's perfect. I just thought it would be a good thing to kind of compare and contrast what one asana looks like seated and what it looks like and feels like for those that are trying it when you're standing as well. So we'll do a few more of the traditional ones that we're used to, and one is Virasana, eagle arms and eagle legs, okay? So I'm gonna move my left foot over more into the center. I'm gonna cross my right leg over. If that is not available to you, slide the leg on down. Anywhere that you can kind of squeeze in knee to knee or inner thigh to inner thigh, or crossing over like this, or maybe taking that cross behind you. Just find what works. Sitting up straight and tall. And this is not how we begin it when we're standing. And when we're standing, we'll probably just do a partial one of these, okay? Let's go ahead and raise our arms up, inhale. And we're exhale. Right arm under left. Make a cross. Come into hug or come into this motion here. And again, maybe some of you have that double cross going on. And we're going to inhale, lifting up. Exhale, take it to your knee. Bow down. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, bow down. Inhale. Bowing. Pulling it at my navel point when I bow. One more time. And coming down. Rise up. And exhale, releasing your arms out of that Garasana, eagle arms, and releasing your right leg down. Take the right foot more into the center, and let's go ahead and cross wherever that is for you and however that is for you. Sitting up straight and tall, engaging in the core, and let's rise up with our arms. Inhale. And flapping those eagle wings down. Left comes under right. We make that cross. We hug ourselves, or then we try to find our forearms perpendicular to the ground. Pressing in, hands together, arms together, legs together, maybe giving a good squeeze here. Inhale, and exhale down. Curl, tuck, round. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, down. Inhale, rise. 2 more times. Exhale. Rise on up with your in-breath. Come on over. Bring yourself up. Inhale. And release. Arms flow down. Shoo. Rise on up. Release your legs as well. Let your arms come floating down. Stay seated, or you can rise up. And rising up, we're going to use the back of the chair. And we're only going to do half at a time, okay? So it depends on what you want to do. But again, if you're staying in the chair, that's great. You're getting to repeat something so that you're going to feel comfortable to do it on your own without me being there, okay? So from here, I'm going to go ahead and do just the arms, but I'm going to stand, right? And I start in mountain pose, right? I've got that chair there if I need it, but I'm going to go ahead and wrap my arms up, take my right under my left. If you're seated, just stay there, going through generally what we just did. Rise up here. And now what we'll do is just bend slightly into the knee. I'm not going to do any fancy footwork right now. Do 3 more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, down. Those in the chair can do your fancy footwork though. Squeezing in to get your joints working in those legs. Here we are. Standing, we're getting our hip joints working a bit, right where the femur connects into the hip socket. And I'm releasing, and I'm flying, and I'm left under righting here. Left under right. Go ahead and take that squeeze. Inhale, lift. Exhale, just take a little bounce. Inhale up. Those of you that's seated can take those elbows to your knee if you like. I'm going to do 1 more. Rising up. Exhale, releasing arms. Those of you that are standing, or if you're remaining seated, then you're just going to work on the legs, squeezing. And so if you're standing, I'm going to take weight into my left foot, and I'm just going to cross my right over my left. Okay? And then I'm going to hold onto the chair. I'm going to bend down. I'm going to keep my right foot on the ground, so I'm not lifting it up. I just want you to feel what this feels like, to cross your legs and be standing with support of the chair, okay? And then stand up, and let's just reverse that. And again, if you're seated, just practice some nice squeezes in with your leg. And so I've crossed over left, over right, come down into a slight bend. Feel my foot, both feet grounded. Well, the right one standing is totally grounded. The other one's about on the ball of the foot, maybe on the toes. Then I'm going to come up, and I'm going to just kind of work out my knees there, and then come back into the chair. So we're going to do warrior now. Warrior 2. Blocks are nice to have around for you for warrior 2, you guys. And we'll be doing that in the chair a couple different times and ways, and also standing, all right? Chair is great to do warrior 2, as is the standing posture. And I think Most of you can do the standing without any problem, but again, you make a decision what's best for you. So my right leg comes out, I've got knee and ankle lined up there, toes are going outward on that right leg. My left leg comes behind me, and I'm going to show you all the different ways. So here's this way, where I'm on the ball of the foot, and I've got my right leg at that right angle, or you can take and bend into your knee and take a block and find yourself rested right there, okay? You guys figure out what's best for you, but find one of those, find yourself, and then spread open your arms. Try to have your body centered here as much as possible. And then looking over your right hand, we're going to come into extended side angle, where we're going to take our bodies down. See that angle we're creating, and one arm stays down towards the ground, the other reaches up. Right now my elbow's by my knee. You can also do it just like this, finding your forearm on your thigh. I want you guys to have all the options that you can have for this. Your other block, if you're using one under your knee, the other block can come right there, and you can put your hand on the block as the other arm rises up, pressing back through your foot and coming into this extended side angle when we take our arm over. Triangle pose, extended side angle. These are all real traditional asanas that are practiced. Bringing arm up, taking body up. Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2 right here. And now I'm going to take my back arm down along that back leg, if the leg is long behind me, or onto that chair, flipping my front arm up and looking up into the sky. Looking up, stretching, reaching. Reaching to receive, or maybe taking that hand up so high, opening it up to release as well. And then bringing myself back into that nice, beautiful, peaceful, balanced Warrior 2. I'm going to take my arms on down, relax them down. I'm going to find myself switched onto the other side. So just shift around and finding your Virabhadrasana 2, your Warrior 2, with or without blocks. And remember, one block may be underneath here. The other block might be ready for your hand when we come into our side angle pose. So finding alignment, always important. Doesn't matter if I'm in a chair or if I'm standing. I want to protect my body. I want to be in good alignment. So, and I want to choose which of the varieties or variations are good for me. Am I ready in this pose to do an amplification, to go further? Am I ready to do a modification that's going to take me into a place that's better for my body? All of them really are just varieties, okay? And variety is the spice of life. So once I have my legs where I want them to be, and again, there's several ways. Extend your arms out and then look towards the camera there and see if you are situated with your torso even there. Arms at about your shoulder height, if that works for you. With shoulder impingements, that might not be where your shoulders go, and that's all right. That's the beauty of our bodies. Everything else can come in to do its thing and not worry about the other. So now what I'm going to do with my front arm is I'm going to either release it here, like some of you may have done, or I'm going to release it downward towards the ground and the other one up, or I am taking this block and I'm really finding support there with the block. Really nicely elongated here through this side of my body, all the way down, through my hands, one reaching up, the other one reaching down, looking up, Maybe looking down. And breathing. Holding in at the core, bringing my body up, finding my nice centered self. Again, arms are long. Arms might be getting a little bit tired, but that's what that strengthening is all about. And then our back arm comes down along that back leg or onto the chair, and the other arm comes up, and we look up. If that works with you and your neck, finding the beauty and the grace in our bodies, finding what it is that helps us to see clearer the beauty in our own bodies and everything that we have and that we carry here in our earthly lives. And bringing yourself back up. Warrior two, extending out. And exhale, hands come down. And you can release your legs back and bring them forward here. And find yourself in mountain pose. We're going to do that again, seated or standing, okay? So you guys now have had all the clues about what to do seated. And those of you that wish to take it standing, we're going to take it standing as well, okay? So stay seated and start setting yourself up for warrior two in your chair, or you can do it standing. And you can also use that chair to kind of support you on that front leg. So as I bring my one leg forward and I begin to bend into it like I did when I took the leg across the side of the chair, I can hold on here for support. And maybe you don't bend that low. It's up here. Find where your expression is. My other leg comes out. I'm pressing back into the outside part of that foot. And, or if you're in the chair, remember we got the knee bent and you're using a block. So here I am. And again, you can use the chair or not. And arms come out. Find your depth, find your length with your arms. And as I'm here, really elongating through the sides of my body too, but still finding the depth. And then taking myself over, forearm here, or extending down, opening up my wings, maybe using that block to help me really push down into something solid and letting my other arm reach up high. That looks great, you guys. Lots of good length there. Whether you're seated or standing, you're getting everything out of this. And that's really my main idea here. Go ahead and extend that arm over. I don't know if we did that seated or not, but come into that extended side angle. Might have only done it on one side. But my main purpose for this is just to let you know that whether you're seated or standing, you're still gaining so much of the benefits of these postures. All right, the lengthening, the strengthening, the flexibility, all of that. And then we're going to bring ourselves back up. Inhale here. And then I'm going to take myself back. So I'm going to lengthen this arm down, that back leg or around me. Let the other arm come up, seated or standing. Reverse warrior two here. Fingers stretch up. Looking up, feeling strong, feeling mighty. Virabhadrasana 2 into extended here, into reversed, and then bring yourself back. Straighten out that front leg, and as you change your position in your chair, those of us that are standing will take and change the direction of our warrior two. So we're going to look towards the opposite way. Again, maybe you have that chair to help you balance on this front leg that's bending, and bend again to wherever feels right to you, and maybe work into that bend a little bit like I'm doing here. And so fix yourself into that good alignment, seated or standing for warrior two. Once you have the waist down, organized, extend through your arms. Find that length. And here you can always flip your hands up too. Notice the difference, how that kind of feels through your arm when you do that, right? And find your depth, find your length. And then from here, bring yourself forward, take yourself to forearm, raise that other arm up. And again, seated in the chair, it's exactly what we did before. Or you can take your block at any height and find more resistance there. Something to support you more as you press down. You notice this arm coming up can extend further up. And I'm pressing into the outside part of my back, my extended leg. Working into my obliques as well here. And you can take and come on over if you like into that extended side angle. Arm reaches up, pull in at the navel point, come up slowly. Find your warrior two. Seated or standing. Back arm comes down, that back leg wraps around, seated or standing. Other hand reaches up high. And I guess my other intention for this is so that everybody can feel included, right? And I think that yoga that is mostly taught in a lot of studios, from what I've seen and experienced, is not always that inclusive. Bring it on up. Straighten your leg and find yourself standing in mountain or seated in mountain. We're going to come back to seated, but if you were standing, find that standing mountain. If you are seated, find your seated mountain. And let's take a couple breaths here. Yeah, most of the studios are not that inclusive, and they tend, because there is such a variety up there of people now testing the waters of yoga, so to speak. They really need to find the right class for themselves so that they're getting what they are wanting and needing, and they're not in over their heads, or they're not bored in that class. Or you need an instructor that can really manage, right, all the variety that's out there. And that's difficult to do. I've been there before, you know, to try to really see how I can work with those people that are wanting more, and also make sure I'm paying attention to those people that are just kind of beginning or have some need to modify in one way or another. So again, that was kind of my intent for today. So let's go ahead and we're going to do cat-cow. We're going to do it seated, then we're going to do it standing, all right? And again, you can remain seated. And I'm starting everyone seated so that you see how that's done. We've already done these before, but also that you can just remain that way, okay? Taking my hands on my knees, I'm going to let my chest come forward. I feel that concaveness in my lumbar spine, up into my thoracic spine. And then I look up, inhale. And then I exhale back into center neutral, and then curl and tuck and round. Really let my head go. Oh yeah, feel that in my lower back. Really releasing there, pull in at my navel. And then bring myself up, inhale. Heart rises, chin rises, gaze rises. And exhale, keep going you guys, your own breath, okay? Your own rhythm. Marching to the beat of your breath. Let's do 2 more sets, please. and coming up slowly back into neutral, sitting up straight and tall in your mountain. And you'll repeat that seated, or we're going to take a stand and do that. I'm going to show you, and those who want to try it, just what that's like standing, okay? Because then you can do it throughout your day instead of finding a chair. Let's say you're standing somewhere and you feel like doing cat and cow, you can just begin doing that. So bend into my knees just a bit, take my hands on my thighs, and go ahead and let my tailbone rise up. Do you see that concave happening there? And then I look up, and then I exhale, curl, tuck, round. I can keep my hands right there. I can slide them down just a bit. Don't have to go very low here. You're really just working from the waist up into your spine. Please do a few more. Your breath, either seated or standing. Two more sets, please. You guys probably like this because I'm not jabbering the whole time. And then rising up from that, either back into seated or standing mountain, taking a couple breaths in the transition. And if you're standing, find yourself back in your chair. And if you're seated, then just wait for us. We'll meet you right there. We're going to do one more thing, but we're just going to do it seated. And that's just going to be a simple arm sun salutation. And take your hands on down, just matching breath and movement. Inhale, lift. Look. Exhale down, chin comes to chest. A few more, just on your breath. This time, rise up with your hands, look up. Take hands together, exhale, pass them down into Anjali Mudra right in front of your heart space. Slight bow. Inhale, lift and reverse sun salutation. Exhale, hands down. Chin comes and follows the level of your hands. Inhale, lift. Exhale, hands. Anjali Mudra into this heart space. Lifting, inhale, reverse. Exhale. Chin bows down. Two more, please. Nice, calming breaths. Bringing our bodies back into homeostasis, into balance. The last time, finding hands at heart center and Anjali Mudra. Take a couple breaths here. So we're going to end with an Om. One Om that we do together. We don't hear one another, so it's up to you whether you want to do that or not. Take a big deep breath. And from my heart to yours, thank you for being here. Namaste. And those Oms always get inky, moving. He thinks it's a siren or something that's coming to attack us. So, he had a siren earlier, and he just went crazy for that. He gets really nervous with that. So,
Yeah.
Well, so thanks you guys for trying something like that, especially some of you that might have taken yourself out of the seat every once in a while, just to see what that's like, and being able, again, to have that comparative contrast between what it feels like to do an asana, traditional asana, seated or standing. And I will continue to not fight for, I don't want to use that word. What's a better word?
Right.
Advocate. I love Mark has all these great words. I'm going to continue to advocate in the yoga world for chair classes, and
Yeah, definitely.
to have those options. You know, I've mentioned it, Evolve Strong, but they're kind of into this grunt and, you know,
Yeah.
what kind of thing they do there. And I'm glad